Hello and welcome everyone. The month of March brought me a bunch of great harvests while working to complete missions at Layton Lake. So join me in a montage of what I've been up to. I kicked off March with a couple of moose. I needed to harvest 2 more moose in Heightened Peaks, so I began searching the edges of the river in the afternoon. With the wind, I wanted to hunt along the eastern shore, so I traveled across and began glassing the edges of the river. I found a bunch of moose, but none that piqued my interest. Until I found this guy. His estimate guaranteed a gold score, so I marked his location on the map and moved in. And on the way over, I found this guy in the distance. Aside from weight, their estimates were identical. So first things first, I moved up on the closer of the two. I had a good distance, but wanted a better angle, so I slowly crept to the right. Now that I was ready to shoot, I checked the distance to the second moose on the map. I wanted to make sure that he was 200 meters away or more so that my shot wouldn't spook him. I was a little anxious as I forgot to check my zeroing before taking the shot, but a quick map check showed hunting pressure. I marked the location of the first and then went after the second. Again, I moved down the opposite shoreline for a better angle and distance. This time, I made sure to check my zeroing before taking the shot. He's down. Let's go check the first one. Vital blood is always good. He's got a nice rack of antlers. Let's see how I did. He's a solid scoring gold at 245.39, and one of the nicer ones I've harvested with this character. Despite my forgetting to zero the scope, I got a good shot on him in the lung and liver at 101 meters. He is also a gold at 214.26. The shot for him landed perfectly center in the lung at 96 meters. No complaints about that. For the next mission, I needed to find footprints from 4 different white-tailed deer. A few weeks before, I had just unlocked the 12-gauge slugs and wanted to give them a try on whitetails. With a shotgun, I want to get in close. The approach from this side will put me in the bushes and right next to the zone with the wind in my favor. Once I got in the zone, I began glassing for bucks. And I was excited to find a gold estimated level 2 waiting for me. And a great angle too. I repositioned for a clear shot. Dropped him instantly. And he's a dark brown colored gold at 228.76. The vanilla over-under melted him instantly at 20 meters. I'd say the 12-gauge slugs are going to be great for whitetails. After a lengthy search of Calburn for hunting stands and elk herds, I settled on a nice bull near the stand on the eastern shore. So I built the tower, fast-traveled to the closest outpost, set the time, and returned to the stand. But this hunt would prove to be more of a challenge than I had expected. I had plenty of time, so I waited for the herd to arrive. But somehow the bull snuck in by me. Much to my dismay, he spent the entire time in the zone behind a tree and a cow. Annoyed, I reset the time and tried again. This time they came by the stand, but closer than I had expected. I used the scent eliminator spray, but as soon as he got downwind of me, he spooked and bolted. He came back later in the evening, but he was through the trees and a long distance away. Out of options, I went back to the outpost, reset the time again, and returned to the stand. This time, the herd came in sooner than before and even closer. I tried the spray again, hoping it might work this time, but he was already downwind and alert. It was a hasty shot, but I didn't want to take any chances. Thankfully, it looked like it connected well. This guy is a gold at 341.94. He's got a solid score and a great looking rack of antlers. I got him through both lungs with the 7mm at 77 meters. I've been staring at him through the rangefinder for a while now, so it's nice to finally see him up close. This one didn't make it to the guide for Doc number 30, as he didn't qualify for the mission, but he was certainly a nice surprise. On my way to the hunting stand in Layton Lakes swamps, I got busted by a female turkey. On the way by, the male's red head caught my eye. He is a very nice dark brown colored gold at 4.43 and one of the higher scoring turkeys to date. I got him on the way back by with a cacciatore at 30 meters. Near the end of the month, I realized I hadn't gone after blacktails in a while and wanted to try out a zone I had found late in February. It was by a hunting stand southwest of North Lake, so I geared up, set the time, and headed out. I spotted a gold potential a good distance out and knew that they were in the zone, so I circled to the right to get a better angle for the wind. Once I was downwind of them, I began to close the gap. When I originally found the zone, there were 10 animals in the herd, and I was pleased to see it had a good number of bucks. I crawled up to a nearby bush for a better look. I liked the look and the angle of the estimated 158, but checked the rest of the herd before making my decision. He was still my best option, so I took aim with a compound bow. A great hit. The herd spooked, but I knew that if I waited a little bit, they would return. Before long, they were nervous but began to come back in, and that's when I spotted one I hadn't seen before. He was a level 4, estimated 157, but I loved the look of his rack. I carefully watched as he returned to the shoreline to drink. Dropped him as well. Let's see how I did. The first is a gold at 135.11 and has a nice circular sweep to his antlers. The 60-pound bow got him in both lungs and the liver at 44 meters, dropping him instantly. Now let's go check on the other. He's a dark gray colored gold at 147.8. I love the look of his rack when facing him head on, so I think I'll keep him for the lodge. The shot hit him quite low, but got both lungs at 47 meters. For my last harvest, I found something a little more rare. While scouting for a couple of the Connors missions, I ventured outside the Cowburn area and found a little gem in the northeast corner of the map. I loaded up the Cacciatore 12 gauge with slugs and headed north. It was next to the northern outpost and too close for me to spawn in without spooking it away. So I had to spawn in at the next closest outpost and hike up. And a couple kilometers later, I finally arrived. As expected, the herd of elk were ready and waiting. There were a couple of nice males there, but the female in the back was the one I was after. With the wind in my favor, I kept my noise and visibility down as I crept up the edge of the lake to the herd. A good hit. And there she is. This little lady is my first rare piebald fur type for this character. Piebalds are actually some of my favorites in the game, so I was excited to finally get one. No score for her, but that doesn't bother me at all. She'll look great in my lodge either way. March was a great month for me in Layton, and I'm hoping April will be more of the same and maybe a little something different as well. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content. I'll be adding more best of videos each month, so be sure to check in for more Call the Wild content. Thanks for watching.